Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope everyone who watch this video or these presentations are in good conditions. And today in this beautiful occasions, I would like to present about Bloom taxonomy. Before we come into the main discussions about Bloom's taxonomy, actually, Bloom's taxonomy means it is from taxonomy. Taxonomy means that the dimensions or the parts of thinking, or we can say it as grades of thinking. And why it is called as Bloom's? Because the creator or the founding father of this theory, especially in education, is Benjamin S. Bloom. Alright, before we come, it is better for us to know what is actually this theory at first time it was created. Okay, Benjamin S. Bloom extensively contemplated the nature of thinking, eventually authoring 18 books. According to a biography of Bloom, written by former students, it was clear that he was in love with the process of finding out. And finding out is what I think he did best. One of Bloom's great talent was having a nose for what is significant. So, Bloom, the creator of this theory, especially, he was really interested in finding something about thinking. So he found this theory, and at first it received a little attention, and when it was first published, but today, uniquely, it has been translated into 22 languages and becomes the most widely applied and most often cited reference in education. Yeah, because this is really interesting when we are talking about the process, why this theory appeared, and from the greatest persons who create this theory. Okay, let's go to our main discussion. The first, definitions. Bloom's taxonomy is a multi-tiered model of classifying thinking according to 6 cognitive levels of complexity. Throughout the years, the levels have often been depicted as a stairway, leading many teachers to encourage their students to climb to a higher level of thought. The lowest 3 levels are knowledge, comprehensions, and applications. The highest 3 levels are analysis, synthesis, and evaluations. So, as what I told you, when we are talking about taxonomy, it means that great part. So, when we come to Bloom's taxonomy, it means that we divided thinking, or the process of thinking, into some grades, some stairs. There's grades from the first, the second, the third, the fourth, and the sixth. And here in Bloom's taxonomy, there are 6 levels of thinking. The 3 levels, the lowest 3 levels, knowledge, comprehensions, and applications. The highest 3 levels are analysis, synthesis, and evaluations. Okay, next. And then, during the 1990s, a former student of Bloom's named Lauren Anderson led a new ensemble which met for the purpose of updating the taxonomy, hoping to add relevance for 21st century students and teachers. This time, representatives of 3 groups, cognitive psychologists, curriculum theorists, instructional researchers, and testing and assessment specialists, like the original group, There were also ardous and diligent in their pursuit in learning, spending 6 years to finalize their work. Published in 2001, the revision includes several seemingly minor, yet actually quite significant changes. Several excellent sources are available which detail the revisions and reasons for the change. Alright, so after some decades of this Bloom's taxonomy, so the students of Bloom's, under the name of Laurie Andersons, was trying to revise the Bloom's taxonomy in relation, I mean, in purpose of this theory, this taxonomy can be used in the 21st century or in this era for the students, either for the students or for the teachers. Okay, let's see about the change. The change that makes that revised Bloom's taxonomy. There are three main changes. The first, terminology, structure, and emphasis. Okay, terminology. You can see in old versions there are knowledge, comprehension, applications, analysis, synthesis, and evaluations. That's the grade of our thinking divided in old versions of Bloom taxonomy. In new versions, it's a little clear. The first step is remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. I think that's a little bit similar, even though there are some minor difference. That's in terminology. And then the new structure. Okay, structure change seems dramatic at first, yet are quite logical when closely examined. Bloom's original cognitive taxonomy was a one-dimensional form. With the additions of products, the revised Bloom taxonomy takes the form of a two-dimensional table. One of the dimensions identifies the knowledge dimensions or the kind of knowledge to be learned, while the second identifies the cognitive process dimensions or the process used to learn. At first, that the six levels of Bloom taxonomy only has one dimensions, but here in the new revisions, it was more specific that the sixth grade of Bloom's taxonomy, the sixth grade of the revised Bloom taxonomy was divided into, if I am not wrong, it was divided into 19 subs of those grades. Okay, 19, such as like remembering or other. And then now we go to the next change, that is the new emphasize. Emphasize is the third and final category of change. As noted earlier, Bloom himself recognized that the taxonomy was being unexpectedly used by countless groups never considered an audience for the original publications. The revised version of taxonomy is intended for a much broader audience. Emphasis is placed upon its uses as a more authentic tool for curriculum planning, instructional delivery, and assessment. So, first, because Bloom's was not expected, this theory becomes the worldwide theory for educations. He didn't expect that. The wider publication. So the revised Bloom taxonomy, intended to have more general. It can be used for all over the world's education systems. It's proper. It's not only focusing on one place or one target or one object. That's what it means, new emphasize. Okay, next. Why should use Bloom's taxonomy? Today's teacher must make thorough decisions about how to spend their classroom time. Clear alignment of educational objectives with local, state, and national standard is also necessity. Like piece of huge puzzle, everything must fit properly. The revised Bloom taxonomy table clarifies the fit of each lesson plan's purpose, essential questions, goal, or objectives. So, why teachers use this taxonomy? Because in the theory of Bloom taxonomy, all the teachers need in teaching, especially about the spending the time up in the classroom, arranging the goal or objective, also arranging the curriculum or others. All of them are in the Bloom taxonomy. So it will make the teacher easier to set the goal or to set the class in the material. That's why should the teacher use Bloom taxonomy. Okay, next. The example of using Bloom taxonomy. Okay, after I think that's all about the main theory of Bloom's taxonomy. And here is the example of using Bloom taxonomy. Using the revised taxonomy in an adaptations from the Omaha Public Schools Teachers Corner, a lesson objective based upon the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears is presented for each of the 6 levels of the cognitive process as shown on the revised taxonomy table. So this example is about Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It's fairy tale, and here is the process of it in learning process, especially when remember as the first step, it means describe where Goldilocks lived. Understand, summarize what the Goldilocks story was about, apply, construct a theory as to why Goldilocks went into the house, analyze, differentiate between how Goldilocks reacted and how you would react in each story event, evaluate, assess whether or not you think this really happened to Goldilocks, create, compose a song, skit, poem, or rap to convey the Goldilocks story in a new form. So, the higher the level of thinking, the more difficult of it is. It is true, and I think that's true that it's about the grades of our thinking in the process of learning. It can be also used in English teaching process. Okay, I think that's all, and we can discuss in our online meeting, or if I have many mistakes, perhaps it will be directed by Ma'am Toyyibah. I think that's all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.